Welcome to CIT218 Web Application Development. I am your instructor, Lisa Ballbeck, and I'm just going to give you a little overview of the course and what you need to complete the first week of class. For those of you that are familiar with Moodle, you will notice that it looks a little different this semester because they did a major upgrade. So it's got the same features that you're used to, but they're just in a little different places. So there's actually 3 different columns here. This first one is the index, which honestly I don't find too useful, but you can click on these links, and instead of just opening the block and showing it to you, it tries to take you to the page, which in some cases is good because, here it went into a Dropbox, so you can add a submission. But in other cases, it's not as helpful because you still have to click on the link. Okay, so just be aware that, sometimes this will take you into a Dropbox and sometimes it won't. Okay, and so honestly, I close this because it's not anything that I need to see. So you guys can decide if you find it useful. Awesome. Open it and use it. If you don't find it useful, then you can keep it closed. Easiest way to get back to the main page is just to select the link. And then on the right-hand side, this is probably something you are going to want to open. At the top of this is our student spotlight. So every time you come in here, you will see a different student's picture and either a quote or a couple sentences that they've entered about themselves and their hashtags. It's an assignment in the first week that you guys add this. And you can see that I've got my granddaughter. She's a little bit younger there and very chunky. And then we have Big Bunny. So I do want a picture of you guys because that's a nice way for you all to get to know each other, especially in an online class. Below that is my office hours. And I have included a link to Zoom here, along with the live stream office hours. And then I've got my campus phone. I've also got a link for an advising appointment. Okay, so this schedule an appointment in My Success is for advising. Okay, so if it's registration time and you need some help, click on this. And you should see some availability and you can schedule a time. Okay, so that's probably the most useful information over here on the right. And then in the center, close this, we have course links, and these you'll want to use all semester, which is why I've got the entire semester as the date range. We've got the professional development and social networking drop boxes, which are part of your grade. And again, those are for the entire semester. And then below that, you will have, weekly lessons. And so this first week is just our getting started week. And so we'll take a little look here. And if we expand out web applications, you can see our little course banner. And then I have, hopefully you'll find these to be helpful links because we link out to, different sources for you, different resources that are online on all of the topics that we have in our class. And so if you feel like you need just a little bit more information, these should be helpful. Again, I do have my link to my live stream office hours here. My discussion forum where I post news and announcements. You will get the announcements in your email. And I will typically post announcements to things like when I've corrected everything, I will post an announcement. If I notice people are having a problem and you all are having this very similar problem, I may post an announcement to give you all a heads up. So it's anything that I want the entire class to know, I will post an announcement. The student questions and answers is a place for you guys to ask each other questions. And then we've got our links to social media. On social media, we will post job opportunities, internship opportunities, any events that we have coming up. You will see postings to that. And I think we are going to be discussing, we used to have what's called a fun night once a semester, but I think we're going to do something a little bit more informal and try to periodically get all the students together from the business division and, either go for a walk around Boardman Lake or go to a movie or, whatever it is that you guys all want to do. So stay tuned because that would be on the social media as well. And before I get into the professional development requirements, let me close this. I'm going to go ahead and show you where the syllabus is because then it'll make sense when I talk about the professional development and social networking requirement. So for the first week of class, this kind of lists what you need to complete. And there is a welcome message that I do think you should read because it does give you a little overview of how the course is set up, how the book is organized, all that kind of information. And I think it'll be nice background for you. Then we've got the course syllabus. And again, my office hours, my live stream office hours. And if you scroll down, this is the book. Make sure you get the second edition. The first edition is for an older version of ASP.NET. So you definitely need the second edition because that's current. And then other things that you're going to want for this course is the current version of VS Community. And so make sure, because I'm guessing a lot of you already have Visual Studio installed. You just need to make sure that you've got all the updates. So if you continue without code here, you go up to help, check for updates. And I just updated mine the other day, so I should be good unless miraculously there are updates overnight. Yeah, so I'm good. I was going to say, oh, no, it looks like there might be updates. So I'm going to have to update mine again. This is not unusual for Microsoft. So anyway, that is all under help. As far as the different work groups that you need, if you go under tools and you choose get tools and features, this does take you into the Visual Studio installer, and that will show you what your workloads are. And I do have a screenshot of the different workloads you need. And basically the workloads affect what you can do in Visual Studio. So you want to make sure you have the correct ones. And I will show you where that screenshot is in a moment. Other things you need are a GitHub account, which you guys all should have, LinkedIn, some type of video creation software. A lot of students use Jing or Zoom, some type of video editing, and then some kind of an account for publishing. You can do YouTube like I do, which are free. Screencast is another one. And then you will need, a video camera, microphone for Zoom calls if you are going to come into my live stream hours. For our learning outcomes, I will let you read through here, but this does tell you by the end of the semester what we will have learned in this class. And then we get into grading. Your grade is based on total points. So we have 1,000 points in the course. 95 to 100% of that is a 4.0, 90 to 94%, 3.5, and so on. The way that you get points is you complete all of the graded activities. So this kind of outlines the different graded activities and what your points, your total points for these different activity categories are. And then you will notice that one says discussion, networking, or professional development. Okay, and that is that first block in Moodle. Okay, and we'll go back and take a look at that in a second. If you scroll down here, it does give you more of a description of the textbook chapters and lecture, the assignments, what our capstone looks like in here. Um, we'll take another look at the professional development in a second and tests. I will tell you in this class that the lecture, what I've done for your assignments is I have embedded hands-on exercises in the lecture demo. So we basically talk about a topic, and then you'll see hands-on, and you need to complete it. We talk about another topic, then you'll see a hands-on section, and you need to complete it. And so there will be some that are more directive from the book, but then you will be building your own app as well. So then there'll be some that are, okay, now do your own thing. And these are the requirements that you need. Okay, so those are all kind of built in to the lecture demo. And let's see. The college syllabus is the same for every single class. So if you click on the link, you can read through that. Then we have our assignment schedule. What you see here for each lesson is going to match what you see at the top of the block. Okay, and everything does have a due date, and where the due dates are located is the top of the block here, and also in the assignment schedule. Okay, but mainly assignments are due on Sunday. Okay, Sunday at midnight. Does that mean that I'm going to be up at midnight correcting them? No, but that is when they are due. So moving on here, the student profile glossary results in the entry that you see for the student spotlight. And there's a video if you're not sure of how to create this, but really all you have to do is go in here, add an entry. The concept is your first and last name. You're going to have to upload a picture. And let me see. I'll just grab my granddaughters here. Now, I do want you guys to do your own picture, but I didn't want to take too long to find one. When it comes in, it's going to be quite large. So what you're going to want to do is change the width. And as long as this is checked, it'll keep it in proportion. And the width should be, 150 or 200 pixels. Okay, and then that just makes it a nice size. And you can save the image. And then below that, you can, enter the quote or a couple sentences describing yourself and your hashtags. And I do not need to save this because I already have one. All right, so below that is the discussion exercise. This is for you guys to share a little bit more information. So if you have a name or a nickname you prefer, please share that. Any hobbies or interests that you have, your major or program of study, and any additional information that you want to share, please feel free to do so. Only share what you guys are comfortable with. And you will notice that I shared quite a bit. I thought I would tell you a little bit about my background And do you need to share all of this information? Absolutely not. Just share what you are comfortable with. And what else is here? So the discussion exercise and the profile glossary are worth points. And so is making sure in Visual Studio is installed. So if you go in here, this is a link to the page you can download it from. And here is the screenshot of the workloads that you need. And remember, if you already have this installed, okay, and you need to check those workloads, just launch it, continue without code here, go into Tools, and Get Tools and Features will pull up the installer so you can check those workloads. Okay, and then if you have it installed, make sure you go to Help and check for updates because you want to make sure the version that you're using is updated. Now, once you've got all of that, I do want you to take a screenshot, okay, and then add the screenshot to the Dropbox, and I will give you points for doing this. If you want to customize Visual Studio, I did include a link here. And I think it'll try to download, so you can just cancel it if you've already got it installed. But this links right out to Microsoft's site. And if you're not comfortable with Visual Studio or it's been a while, you can certainly watch the videos and read through a little bit of how to customize the app. Then we get into the first coding assignment, and this is a little review. And so what you're going to be doing is an ASP.NET console application. And you're actually going to do two of them. There's some tutorials I'm going to have you work through. And the videos that I provided were done using .NET 6. Okay. But when you click the link, you'll notice that you can either use .NET 7 or .NET 6. Really not a lot of difference between the two. But if you are watching the videos, make sure you pick .NET 6 because that's what I walked through on the video. And it does not matter to me if you use .NET 7 or .NET 6. Do not use .NET 8 because it is in beta. And there are sometimes issues with these different versions when we get to deployment. And I know .NET 6 and .NET 7, those apps can be deployed because we did them last spring. But I don't know about .NET 8, so don't pick it. Otherwise, you may end up redoing things. You're going to do two little apps. One is called Hello World. And so this one, you're going to kind of go through all the debugging, take a little review of how to debug in Visual Studio, and you will publish it. And then you're going to do another one where you actually are creating a little library program. And then you create a program that uses that library. And then you test everything with unit testing. And unit testing is going to be new to you guys, but it is something that is on your IT certification. It's on that software fundamentals certification exam. So it is something that you guys need to know. So you can walk through this as well. And then once you are done with both of those projects, you are going to zip the folders and add them to the Dropboxes. And make sure that you pick the entire folder. Don't just upload the CS files because for me to download and run these, I need everything. Okay, so make sure that you have the entire folder zipped and we shouldn't have any issues in correcting your work. Now, that brings me to this professional development that I said we would get back to. So in this class, professional development networking is worth 50 points. And this link takes you out to the types of activities that you can do to obtain those points. Okay, so the activities are listed and then the number of points. So we do still do industry night outs. And so each time you attend one of those, you basically just need to submit a summary of what you learned, and then you get 10 points. Now it says a 1 to 2 page paper. Doesn't need to be that long for Lisa. No, you only need to do 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay. It does not need to be super long. It's just for me to know that you attended. Okay. And basically whether you thought it was useful or not. Lead a student study group. So each time a student study group meets, you can get points. And actually, if you attend the study group, I will also give you points for that. So you can kind of go through here. If you do any kind of training or review, submit what you did, and if it was at a website, give me the link and how much time you spent and what you learned, and then you can get points for that as well. Okay, and the maximum number of points is 50. So if you have free time after you've completed the profile glossary, the discussion, and our council applications, okay, if you have time, I did include some resources for review, if you wanted to review. And, if you wanted to spend some time going through and customizing Visual Studio, all of that would count as professional development. So make sure you keep track of where you went and how much time you spent on it. And I also want to know what you learned. Okay, those are the 3 things that are really important to submit. And then I can give you points for doing that. Okay, so that is what we are doing the first week. I'm going to collapse all here. And once I update the lecture for the second week, I will open up the block. Because the version of .NET has changed, there are things that I have to change and videos that I have to redo. So as soon as things are ready for you guys, I will open them. In the meantime, if you guys have questions or run into problems, please let me know. I am here to help you, and have an awesome first week.